Ross, therapist, speaker, author, amazing human being. When it comes to connection and community and that whole concept that you don't have to do it alone, why is meaningful connection so vital to well-being, especially for women in leadership?
Because, Sally, behind every strong woman is another strong woman silently handing her a coffee, reminding her to breathe, and telling her she's allowed to fall apart every now and then. But let's really break this down with some clarity, compassion, and a little splash of candor, right? So, we are literally wired for connection. That is what our brain thrives on. So, human beings are biologically built for connection. There's this beautiful thing called oxytocin, and it is considered to be like the bonding hormone. So it gets released when we experience like safe, supportive interactions. It calms our nervous system, it reduces cortisol that floats around us, and it fosters emotional resilience. So, why is this important? Because it actually delivers a sense of calm to our being. So, for women especially, connection isn't fluff, it's actually real. Leadership, as I'm sure you're well aware, can be so isolating. So it's like the higher up this ladder you climb, the lonelier it can feel. So expectations increase, vulnerabilities decrease, and the I have to keep it all together narrative just is sneaking in fast and furious. So without meaningful connections, women in leadership really do risk feeling unsupported, unseen, unheard, and essentially emotionally starved, even in a room full of people. And then finally, connection buffers against burnout. So, studies show that high quality social support is one of the strongest predictors of psychological resilience and burnout prevention. So, it acts as like an emotional release valve, a mirror, a megaphone for hope, essentially. So, connection helps you carry the load without becoming the load. And I think those are really important things, not only to just be aware of, but find a way to actually incorporate those into your role and into your community that you're supporting as well. So I guess my question to you, Sally, Miss, leadership expert galore, speaker, author, and just amazing human woman, how does surrounding yourself with the right community elevate your leadership, presence, and decision making?
Oh, I think we all need a strong leadership circle because if we've got that circle around us, then we've got some place to bounce our strange ideas off. We've got a place to vent. We've got a place to say, is this bizarre or is this rational? And also if we trust and we've got that rapport and we have the permission to challenge respectfully, we can also have our misunderstandings and our what's the word I'm looking for, our views can be challenged so that we are getting a fresh perspective. I have some great friends who will actually go, I do believe, Sally, you're talking a lot of rubbish right now. And then they'll explain why, they just don't leave me there in a heap going, oh, but it's about making sure that I'm thinking the best that I can be thinking. And I love that we don't need to agree at all because it helps us to really broaden the way we can see a situation. That helps us to then see the problem differently or see an opportunity that may not have been there before. So it's that fresh thinking, it's that strategic support, and it's also some emotional backup as well. And the other thing that I think community does is it gives us courage. I think we find it a bit easier to take bold steps when we know someone's got our back, when we know you go, girl, you get them. We're right here with you. Now, I know from my own experience that I would not have gone for certain particular opportunities if I didn't have, a posse of sisters behind me going, you got it, girl, you go. And it's almost like they'll hold the belief while you do the work, and you just go for it. And I think that's something that we don't often hone in on when we think about community. It gives you that courage. And I totally agree with your comment before about leadership being lonely. When I first started to rise in the ranks in my employed life, I got lonelier and lonelier and lonelier despite how much louder things were getting. And I think that the smarter leader, had I been a bit older and a bit more mature, would have spent even more time making sure leadership was not a solo sport. I would have spent a lot more time making those connections left and right, up and down, across the industry, so that I would have not just that better thinking, but I'd also have the opportunity to build my resilience. I would be able to be a support for someone else, because when we give, we also get. And I think that would have made me a lot more influential. So I absolutely think that surrounding ourselves with the right community elevates our leadership presence and helps with our decision making.
Absolutely. So if today's conversation resonated with you and you are ready to reconnect, reset, and rise in both your leadership and your well-being, then the Rise and Renew retreat is exactly where you need to be. Let us show you what it's all about.
What if I told you there's a 3-day retreat in Bali made just for women in leadership? A space where you can breathe, reflect, and realign with what truly matters. This is not simply time away. This is your turning point. You carry the weight of responsibility every single day. You're the one people turn to, the one who keeps everything moving. But behind the scenes, the stress builds, the clarity fades, and slowly, the spark that once drove you begins to dim. You deserve more than just a moment of rest. You deserve a full reset. Rise and Renew is a transformational retreat set in the heart of Ubud, Bali. It's a safe, intentional space created for women like you. Women who lead, women who give, women who are ready to reconnect with their purpose. Our Rise and Renew retreat will help you strategize with fresh clarity, discover your next chapter with confidence, learn from respected women leaders who understand your path. No corporate jargon, no pressure, just real conversations, expert-led mindset work, leadership workshops, self-care sessions, nourishing food, and a powerful circle of women who get it. You will leave with more than reclaimed calm. You will leave with a plan, with purpose, with a confident mindset, ready to lead with greater and renewed intention. This retreat is intentionally intimate, for deep connection and real transformation. Spots are limited. Secure your spot now at riseandrenew.com.au.